We often think of poetry as just beautiful words scattered on a page, and honestly, that can feel a bit intimidating. But what if I told you it's actually a secret, highly structured musical code just waiting to be cracked? Well, that is exactly what a rhyme scheme is. It's the hidden architecture beneath all that emotion. So today, in this explainer, we're going to become literary code breakers, deciphering the very DNA of the poems and songs you already know and love.
Here is how we're going to break this all down today. First, we'll look at the cipher itself, then move on to the foundation, explore the storytellers and pranksters, dive into the Shakespearean masterclass, and finally, we'll put you to the test with your rhyme skills.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the cipher. So, what exactly are we looking for when we talk about a rhyme scheme? Simply put, it's just the pattern of rhyming words specifically at the end of each line in a poem. And the way we track this pattern is by using the letters of the alphabet. Seriously, these letters are the literal keys to decoding the rhythm, the pacing, and ultimately the emotion of any poem. When you start mapping out these letters, you're actually seeing the skeleton of the art itself. Okay, so how do we actually assign these letters? It is an incredibly logical four-step process. Step one, you only look at the last word of each line. Just ignore the rest of the sentence for now. Step two, you assign the letter A to the very first line. Always start with A. Step three, if any following line ends with a word that rhymes with that first line, you give it that exact same letter, A. And step four, whenever a line ends with a brand new rhyme sound, you just move down the alphabet. So you assign a B, then a C, and so on. It is brilliantly simple once you get the hang of it. Let's actually look at this cipher in action. Listen to the bouncy rhythm here. The stars shine in the sky. Okay, that's our first sound, so that is A. Birds sing as they fly. Well, fly rhymes with sky, so that gets another A. Children laugh and play. Brand new sound, right? So we move to B. Throughout the sunny day. Day rhymes with play, so that's another B. And there you have it. This perfectly illustrates the AABB pattern. See? You are already cracking the code.
Moving right along to part two, simple rhymes, big impact.
Let's start with the heavy hitters. The AA pattern, which is known as a couplet, is just two consecutive lines that rhyme. Think of something like, the moon is shining bright, it fills the world with light. It's simple, it's super easy to remember, and it creates an absolutely definitive, strong ending. Then we have the AAA monorhyme, where literally every single line rhymes. I see the shining light, it sparkles through the night, a peaceful, lovely sight, filling hearts with delight. Poets love this AAA scheme because it has this relentless, strong musical quality that just drives home one singular powerful thought.
Now, what's really fascinating is how shuffling just a couple of letters totally transforms the mood. The AABB double couplet, where every two lines rhyme, is incredibly musical and predictable, which is why it's so common in children's poetry. But if you switch that to the ABAB alternate rhyme, where every other line rhymes, you get this beautifully balanced rhythm. It feels less like a nursery rhyme and way more like a sweeping pop song or a classic ballad.
To really feel that AABB double couplet in your bones, let's look at a classic example. Notice the staccato, playful bounce here. The cat sat on the mat. It wore a tiny hat. It chased a little mouse around the old house. It's quick, it's punchy, and you instantly know why this musical structure is a go-to for playful, energetic verses.
All right, up next is part three, storytellers and rule breakers.
Here are three amazing tools in the storyteller's kit. The ABBA enclosed rhyme basically sandwiches the B rhymes right in the middle, creating this feeling of enclosure and adding real sophistication. Then there's the ABCB ballad rhyme. Only the second and fourth lines actually rhyme here. It sounds so incredibly natural, almost like someone is just talking to you across a table, making it perfect for narrative songs and old folk tales. Finally, the ABABCC sestet, which is common in six-line stanzas, weaves an alternating pattern before hitting you with a final couplet. It brilliantly combines variety with a real sense of closure.
Okay, now for the rule breakers and the pranksters. This is the AABB limerick. Listen to the energetic, funny pacing here. There once was a young man named Lee who lived by the edge of the sea. He found a strange whale with a very long tail and shouted with great glee. That rapid return to the A rhyme at the very end, that is the punchline. It creates a catchy rhythm that is just absolutely perfect for humorous poetry. But let's contrast that playful limerick with this, the ABCB enclosed variant. Listen to how this flows. The sun began to set. The clouds were painted red. The air was calm and still. Above the distant hill, as daylight slowly fled, So the crucial takeaway here is how that B rhyme, read and fled, is stretched far apart. This delayed rhyme creates a remarkably smooth flow and builds this beautiful, quiet suspense before it finally resolves.
Which brings us to part 4, the Shakespearean Masterclass.
A, B, C, D, D, E, F, F, G. Yeah, I know, that incredibly long, complex string of letters is a lot. But it is the hallmark of the Shakespearean sonnet. It is an absolute masterpiece of structure. It weaves 3 distinct alternating patterns, the AB, the CD, and the EF, before suddenly wrapping the whole thing up with a powerful singular GG couplet at the end. It's like a massive, beautiful puzzle. Let's actually see how this builds right from the opening lines of literally one of the most famous poems ever written. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. You can hear how this AB pattern so smoothly sets the stage, acting as the foundation for the complex, elegant structure that unfolds over the rest of the 14-line sonnet.
All right, time for part 5. Let's test your rhyme skills. Here is your ultimate cheat sheet featuring all the patterns we've covered today, from the simple couplet to the massive Shakespearean sonnet. Take a quick mental snapshot of this because the test is starting right now.
Question 1. Can you spot the rhyme scheme here? The leaves fall from the tree. They drift so gracefully down. The wind blows wild and free across the quiet town. Think about the end words, tree, down, free, town. What's the code?
If you guessed AB, the alternate rhyme, you are absolutely correct. Tree and free match up. Down and town match up. Great job.
Let's try to crack the next one. Listen to the rhythm on this. There once was a girl named May who loved to dance and play. She twirled with great grace all over the place, then happily ended her day. What familiar code is that? Boom, that is the AABB limerick. You can always hear it in that bouncy, catchy, hilarious rhythm. Excellent work if you spotted those matching A rhymes wrapping right around the B's. Okay, here we go. The final boss-level test of your memory. Without looking at your notes, which massive, complex rhyme scheme is commonly associated with Shakespeare's sonnets? Let's see if you can pull this 14-letter code entirely from memory. It is, of course, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G. Seriously, if you pulled that from memory, you are truly a master code breaker and have officially unlocked the mechanics of poetry. So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Now that you can crack the literal code of human emotion, what secret messages will you discover hiding in plain sight in your favorite songs and poems? Get out there, listen closely, and start decoding.